So these are the instructions for how to print on the Seattle Pacific University MFP printers if you want to print a double-sided booklet. So an 8-page double-sided booklet. If you're looking to print that, these are the instructions you want to follow. First thing you want to do is make sure that your book is all laid out and designed correctly and that you have your images overset over the bleed area so that you have some extra kind of room to work with. All the stuff that we've talked about setting up earlier in the tutorials. Once the booklet looks right and everything is set up the way you want, your front cover is here, your back cover is on the back here. What you see here is what you want the booklet to look like when you print it. What we want to do is we want to go up to File, Print Booklet. So you just go File, Print Booklet right here, click on that. That's going to bring up a set of dialog boxes, and to print at SPU we have there are just some complicated steps we have to go through. So this will take you through step by step. The first thing that you want to do is make sure you have 2-up saddle stitch selected. I want to make sure that you have that automatically checked. And then you want to go to the preview, and if you see it, you'll often see that it's set up to print on an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, which we have to change if we want our pages to line up correctly. So what you want to do is click on Print Settings and follow these steps exactly. So whatever printer you're going to see here will be Secure Print or something like that. What you want to do is select Printer PostScript File. And remember, you have to print from the Seattle Pacific University Art Department lab. Like, you have to be in the Art Department lab in order for this to work correctly. If you do it on your laptop, it won't work, so you actually have to have all your files on a thumb drive and do all of this in the lab. So make sure that you have the printer selected as a PostScript file. And then for the PPD here, which is just the setting that we're going to use, you want to make sure you select the one that aligns with the Sharp printers that we use. So you don't want to have the one that's device independent because that will gray all of your options out. You want to make sure you choose the Sharp MX1 or whatever one is there. It could change over time depending on what drivers they install. But the PostScript file is an independent file that'll kick this out, that will kick this out to. So once you have that done, you can go ahead and click to the setup. And here we want to make sure that, like, if you have yours set up at letter, you want to make sure that you change that to ledger, which is 11 by 17 size. That's what they call it here. We have to make sure that our page position is set up to centered. So again, it's really important that it says centered here. You don't want to scale it to fit. You want to keep your scale exactly 100% so that you're not changing the size of your booklet. Make sure its orientation there is set up to be landscape. And then we go to Marks and Bleed, and we want to make sure that we have the crop mark selected. That's the one that we want to make sure that we use for this. You don't need to mess with any of the rest of this stuff unless you want to get advanced. So if you just click OK now, and you go back to the preview, you're going to see that we have our booklet set up to print on a giant piece of 11 by 17 paper, which when you go to print this, you just put the paper that you want to print on directly into the 11 by 17 tray. So you just put it straight in there. You don't want to use the manual feed tray. Just put that paper in on top of the other paper that's there and it'll pull it through. That's a foolproof way to print. So now if I go through all of this, you can see I've got it all set up. So if I click print, it's going to print this out to a PostScript file. So put it desktop in your thumb drive folder, wherever you can find it, and just go ahead and click save. It's going to ask you about which extension you want to use at the end of this file. So you want to just go ahead and click use PostScript. You just click OK through any of these warning boxes that it gives you and just print that out. So now what we're going to have is we're going to have a file that shows up on our desktop. So I don't know where that went. All right, so wherever I put that thing at, so you got to find it. I have accidentally put it here, but that's okay. So now you just want to find that file, and we want to go ahead and click on the control click on the document, because you can see it's got a PostScript, a ps.ps file name on the end of it. We want to go in here, we want to go to Open With, and instead of opening it in Acrobat Distiller or something, we want to go all the way down to Other. We want to bring up all of our options that'll let us pick which thing we want to make it open it with. So we'll click on Acrobat DC, And you want to choose Adobe Acrobat. That's the one that you want to open this PostScript file with. You click Open. And now it's going to create a PostScript file out of the, or a PDF file out of the PostScript file that we just made. And so now if I scroll through the pages, you can see that they're all lined up correctly, and they all have this crop marks that'll help you figure out where to cut this thing out at. So what I want to do now is I want to go to File, Save As, and I just want to save this as, 8-page demo final, something that you can find that you can remember, right? Because you really want to make sure that this particular file doesn't get lost. This is the one you can take anywhere you want to print. So if you click Save now, you'll see that you can open that up anytime. And if we zoom out a little bit, you see that it's going to print this out on a big piece of paper with the crop marks here. So now to print, again, this only works in the SPU lab. It doesn't work on your laptop or using web print. It's got to be sitting in an SPU lab at one of those computers. You hit Command P, just go up to File, Print, and it's going to give you all these options. So you want to make sure you select Secure Print now. And now this is going to give you all the options to choose print on both sides of the page. And you want to make sure that you want to make sure you print on both sides of the page. And we always want to flip on the short edge. So you click on the short edge. You can make sure that it looks correct in there, but the paper size isn't correct right now. So I gotta fix that. So to do that, I need to go in here to go to Page Setup. And where it says US letter, I want to make sure I pick tabloid, which is 11 by 17 in Adobe Acrobat. Their ledger and tabloid are the same thing. Make sure the scale says 100%. Make sure it's set up to print here, landscape style. Click OK, and now you're going to see how it changes the preview. So I'm printing on both sides of the paper. I'm flipping it on the short edge. I'm going to click Print here now. It should bring up a whole bunch of options for you in terms of like where you want to charge it. So for me, it's this. Yours will look a little different. Click Print, and now it'll confirm. And now you can, again, put the pieces of paper you want into the tray in the MFP printer, in the 11 by 17 tray, which is usually the third tray down. And you can just, guide it through, and it's going to print this out automatically for you on both sides of the pieces of paper. So that's the most foolproof way to get a double-sided 8-page booklet to print correctly.